podcast. We are not here to bully anybody. We are not here to what do you call it? To blackmail or spoil someone's name. We are here to learn ourselves or to gain from what have happened to someone before. That's the purpose we have this platform, and it was called Live Experience. Please, can you tell us your name, please?
Okay. My name is Adenike Obaoye.
Obaoye.
Yes,
Obaoye
that's
from where?
I'm from Kwara State in Nigeria, but I grew up in Lagos State, Badagry to be precise.
Wow. Where are you presently?
Okay, I'm presently in Germany. I've been in Germany since 2013, living in Germany since 2013. That makes it
2013.
12 years. 12
Ah,
years.
okay. Can we
Mm-hmm.
start from like that 2013? Right.
Yes,
That's how many years now?
12 years.
12 years. Do you regret traveling abroad? Let's start from there.
I'm not going to use the word regret traveling abroad because even while I was in Nigeria, the kind of job I was doing, I was working with an NGO, it makes me to travel out. So coming to Germany is not my first destination abroad. So traveling abroad, one has to be specific with in answering that question. But if it's just traveling, I love traveling. It's a beautiful experience. I've been to a number of countries. In fact, I've been to 4 continents out of the continents we have in the world. So I love traveling. But if you ask me, if you want to be specific, it should be how is my experience? How has it been living in Germany? Then I'll be able to answer.
Thanks so much because since I'm hearing from you from your mouth now. I never knew you have been traveling before.
Oh yes, because I was working as a development worker in Nigeria with an NGO.
I never knew. That's why we are hearing from the horse's mouth now. Thanks for that. Let's deal with that question. What you throw to me now? Let's deal with it. Let's deal with it. Do you regret traveling to Germany? Let's go that way.
Ah, well, I actually came to Germany on an academic scholarship from the German government itself. Like, so I'm not just a person that
You know what?
gathered.
You know what? Don't let us mix it together. Do you regret traveling to Germany? So that we can start from there. Don't go. Just please don't derail from that question. I have my reasons.
I need to put the answer in context because a person who got a scholarship cannot say, "Oh, I regret getting a scholarship," and I completed the studies. I have my degree, master degree. But the later part, I told you I've been here in Germany since 2013, but from 2018, when what we call political gaslighting against me in Germany started, then I could call that period my period of regret to date in Germany. But not the whole experience was not bad. But from 2018 was when this problem started.
Sorry, what problem?
Yes, that's the problem of the Jugendamt. The Jugendamt is, if you want to translate it to English, it is like the youth office, but it represents the social office of other countries that is in charge of children's welfare, that takes children from careless parents. So for Germany, Germany calls its own Jugendamt, but the reason why I say I regret such is that I have never been a careless parent. In fact, the things women do, that the things mothers do that make the government to take children from them, I didn't do such. So, but why are Germans, the Jugendamt, taking my own children? In fact, it's so bad that because they could not find any allegation against me, they had to fabricate a lie and say, "Oh, this woman has mental illness," and that was why they started taking my children. They did it firstly in
Let me
2018.
let me come in from there. You know, when as I am now, I'm sick. Now, as I'm talking to you, I'm sick now. But you can't know if I didn't tell you that I'm sick, or you see me doing somehow, maybe shivering. You understand? I'm not saying maybe you have fault or you don't have any fault, but do you think maybe there's something you are doing that is not normal than other people that they use the opportunity to take the children or took the children from you? Let's come from.
Exactly. That's a very good question. Before anybody can conclude that a person has mental illness, there must be proof, there must be actions that show, there must be diagnosis that supports that claim. But in the case of Germany, there is nothing that I have ever done. One, I don't smoke, I don't take alcohol, I don't use drugs, I have never fought in public, I've never fought anyone in this Germany. So if I've never misbehaved in public, and no, I've never even fought with my neighbors that we lived in the same apartment throughout my 12 years. So if I've never had any issue with any outsider in Germany, how did Germans come to this false conclusion of mental illness so as to take away children?
Sorry, I'm still coming about that mental illness. I'm still coming there. Have you ever maybe a police officer or maybe a social worker knock at your door that a neighbor reported you that you smack your children maybe outside, or maybe they're hearing the sound
No,
how they are crying? Yes
no,
or no?
no, no.
Okay.
Such never happened. There was no issue of a neighbor. In 2018, my ex-husband, I'm now divorced from him. I got divorced in 2021. My ex-husband and I had domestic issues. And during that domestic issues, it was not a physical fight. Nothing. It's normal for married people to have their own disagreements. So we had our disagreement, and then remember I told you that I came to Germany through scholarship academy. So it means I was the one that brought the whole family. That's my ex-husband, and then my first child. Then my first child was born in Nigeria. So I was the one that brought the family to Germany. So when myself and himself were having some disagreement at home, I called the kindergarten that I want to be, henceforth, I want to be the only one to be coming to pick the children. That was all. And then suddenly, to my surprise, the kindergarten woman came in, came to our place. That was in 2018. She came. And then by the time she even came to our house, to the apartment, she met my ex-husband and I in a calm situation. We were not fighting. And it was not that he never physically abused me. So there was no scar or mark on me to have said, oh, maybe something serious was going on. But then when she came in, she didn't meet any escalating situation, but she on her own invited German police. She called police. What should police come and do? And when the police came, they asked, what is the problem? I said, nothing. Did your husband, who is now my ex-husband, did he beat you? I said, no. Fine. But why did the police now say, what is going on? We have to. They spoke with my ex-husband. He told them whatever he wanted to say. And then German police said, madam, we have to call the psychiatric hospital to come and take you to psychiatric hospital for evaluation. Is it the police that gets people involved in psychiatric evaluation? Okay, fine. I said, yes, let's go. So when we got there, the doctor asked, what's the issue? I said, no issue. Just the usual, a woman, I was working then, and I was taking care of 2 children on my own. That's my first and second child. Those were the only 2 children I had in the marriage. And then the psychiatrist on duty said, I do not see anything wrong with you, this woman. That you are mentally perfectly fine. Even now, she was an old lady. She even called, she said, wait for another person to do another assessment, same day, like for somebody else to also evaluate me. So I waited hours later, a guy came, we spoke again, and he too said, you are free to go. But that was not the issue. That was just the beginning of what you call gaslighting, political gaslighting in Germany. It means that some people have gathered somewhere, planned something out, and then start harassing or oppressing you in order to achieve what they have planned. And in the case of Germany, it is because they wanted children that are not Germans. And they do not have anything to use against me. There was no issue of me smacking my children then. There was no issue of me neglecting them at home, going out, leaving the children alone at home. There was no issue of me starving my children, not giving them good food. They were not malnourished. And there was no issue of the children falling sick, that maybe they were not looking good.
It was uncared.
Yes, there was no such issue. So and when there was nothing they could pin on, they had to fabricate that this woman is the Jugendamt. that was doing this.
Sorry,
Not even clean.
sorry. Let me just come in. Why you that they came for you the first time, second time? Why you?
It's not just only me. It is a situation that online I've heard and seen a number of black women living in Germany experiencing the same situation. They have been trying.
I trying to say that German government are facing the blacks in Germany collecting their children. Yes or no?
I am saying that an agency called Jugendamt in Germany have been doing that to foreigners in Germany. Yes, that is what I'm saying.
All
But I want us to be
foreigners.
specific with the agency, the government agency doing it. It is called Jugendamt.
Ugandans. Okay, the Ugandans
It is,
being
I'm telling you, in fact, as at that 2018, when I went to Nigerian embassy in Berlin to complain because I took this matter to my country, and the woman, one of the women working at the embassy then, she's a woman from the east, an Igbo woman. She has been transferred now. She told me that they have a long list of Nigerian children taken by Jabas that the parents have been coming to cry.
sorry the last incident. Let's flash back a little bit about the previous your ex, because you mentioned that when police came, firstly, how do the woman know that something is happening? One, two. When the woman came, you said the woman asked, "Is there any problem?" You said no, that everything is all right. But did your husband say there's a problem? Yes or no? Just yes or no?
I did not say that. To answer your question, that why did the woman come? I told you that I called the kindergarten and said, henceforth, I want to be the only one to be coming to the kindergarten to pick the children. So
But
she said,
you and your ex are still together then.
yes, we're living together then.
Okay.
So we make it.
Why do you take that decision?
I told you that we were having disagreements at home then with him. And so I don't, and I, because I'm the one that brought the family to Germany, I feel responsible for everybody, especially the children.
Okay.
So that was the reason I took that decision. That okay, if something is going to happen, then let it be me now that will be the only person that will be going to the kindergarten, also bringing the children, taking them there, bringing them back. I will know that I'm solely responsible for the children.
Sorry, your children with your ex, where are they now?
They returned them back to him in 2022. As at that time, I've separated from him. I separated from him in 2019.
They returned the two children back to him.
In 2022, after 4 years of taking them. And before returning them, it was because I have already changed location. I left the city, I changed location to another city, in fact, to the capital, and I've started a new life in the capital. I've already birthed two new children
But
again.
what's the capital? What's the capital called?
Berlin. Berlin is the capital of
Berlin.
Germany.
Berlin.
The issue that we were talking about in 2018 happened in a city they called Erfurt. Erfurt. E-R-F-U-R-T.
Airport.
Yes, that one happened in Erfurt. And so, and I left that city in December 2019. I first traveled to Nigeria. I went to my parents' place, then came back January 2020. So then I settled in Berlin. It means I got separated from my ex-husband. So
Let's. I
from
want to please.
2020, I
I
started
want
living in
to. I
Berlin.
want to. I want to go back to that your ex. Since the woman called the police,
I,
and
okay, the woman, yes, the
the woman
kindergarten
called the
woman.
police,
Yeah.
and when the police came, you said everything is fine.
Mhm.
Did your husband say something that lead to something that they said you are mentally drained?
Do you
How
know
come?
what?
Yeah.
If we really want to get to the bottom of this matter, if we want to address the real issue, let us address it from 2024, because two different situations.
Okay.
In 2018, they claimed that there was conflict between my ex-husband and I, even though it was not physical, like I told you.
Okay.
So based on the conflict, they lied. They said the woman wife has gone mad. Okay, only after 4 years that the so-called mad wife or mentally ill wife
Okay.
had gone elsewhere, start a new life, met a new person, met a new man in the capital, then got pregnant, had the first child, had another baby in 2021, and then got pregnant again, had the second baby in the capital, making the fourth child in Berlin. So when they saw that this person that they lied against in airport was like doing well in Berlin, and I was now in Berlin as a single mother, no longer married to the new man. So it means, what is wrong? How can somebody who is mentally ill be surviving alone as a single mother? I was single-handedly raising this my last two babies that German take. So then I think out of shame was the reason they returned those first two children to only him in efforts.
Why him?
Because I was no longer living in the city. I told you that I've already changed location.
To Berlin. Okay.
Yeah. So to Berlin. So they returned and those children were in what's they call children's home, like their foster home in Erfurt, in the former city. And he was still living, my ex-husband was still living in Erfurt. In fact, he's still there. He did not change location. So, and then he engaged a German lawyer to say, okay, if you say my wife, who is now my ex, has mental illness, she's gone.
What about me?
Yeah, what about me? Can't I have my children? So they eventually gave the children back, the two children born in the marriage, back to him in 2022. And as of that 2022, I already now have two children with me, two new ones.
With
So it
different
means,
man.
yes, with a different man, a baby daddy. So it means it was like, oh, this woman is having children with her. Why me? I no longer have anything. So you get that kind of logic of why they returned those two to him.
Okay.
So, and because I was actually now busy with the two new baby boys that I have, I didn't fight that issue. I let it go that children are better off with at least a parent than to be with Germans.
Um, um, your ex-husband, is he married now? Has he
No, no,
married?
he has not remarried to my own knowledge.
Your own knowledge. Do you have contact to your children?
Which of them? You know, now I have four children.
No, no. The ex, I'm still talking about the ex, not the present one. The ex.
Well, as at the time they returned the children back to him, part of the problem of the injustice we are talking about in Germany was the German courts gave only my ex-husband sole custody of those two children, which is absolutely wrong anywhere in the world. Wherever people are legally married, even after a divorce, because that marriage was divorced, it was officially ended. It was officially ended in 2021. So wherever people are legally married, even after a divorce, they get joint custody. That is the advantage of a legal marriage. A legal marriage grants both parties custody to the children, except if there's truly this case of mental illness. That's when one parent gets the sole custody. You understand? Or if the other parent is incapacitated, not available to take decisions, joint custody means the two parents will be deciding on issues that concern the children. So, but Germans gave only him sole custody.
I'm referring to your ex. Do you still have
Yes.
access to your children?
That's to answer that question
Your ex
on
children.
his own. That's what I'm telling you. To answer that question, I'm telling you that if I want to use the official way, Germans did not allow me to have access to my children. But this same ex-husband that the Germans are trying to paint as an evil person or a bad person, brought the children to me in Berlin to visit me. So on a number of occasions, and after that, yes, I've been
But
having
those visits are unknown to them. Yes or no?
to unknown to Germans.
Yes.
I don't know because I don't do any secret thing. So are they supposed to be monitoring my private life?
Let's come back to the that means you have contact with your ex children.
Yes, my children with my ex-husband. Yes.
Yes,
Now,
that's it.
after Germans returned them, not when during
After
the
that,
German.
for them. Yes. The little one, the two kids
Yes.
that they took now. What year did they took them? What year?
2024, April 2024, 26th of April 2024. That's just last year. This is now 2025. So last year. In fact, 26th of this month, we make it exactly 1 year.
Have you ever talked to them? Maybe on camera or through call?
No, as in initially, we had visitation access to them. They separated the two children. The one that was 2 years old, that was the elder then, was put in Berlin, while the younger one, a 1-year-old boy then, was taken to a faraway state in Oschersleben. That by the time the baby daddy and I go to visit him, we spent 5 hours just on a single journey to get to him, and then when we are coming back, another 5 hours by train. So he was taken to Oschersleben by the same Jugendamt that is doing all sorts of manipulations. Now the question is, how is a mentally ill person traveling 5 hours journey to 5 hours from Berlin to go and visit a child? How is that possible? So the baby daddy and I were going once a month then to visit the one they took out of Berlin. While the one that was in Berlin, we were seeing him, we were visiting him every week, once a week. Usually it was on Mondays. But then, when I saw that Germans do not have the intention of returning these children, because I made them to know that I no longer want to live in Germany. After all, I'm a foreigner. I have the rights of movement. If a person has not committed a crime, a foreigner has the right to end his or her residency or living in a foreign country anytime he or she wants. And because I've never committed crime, I have the freedom to say, oh, I no longer want to live in Germany. Let me go back to my country, Nigeria. So I told these people that took my children, I want to return to Nigeria. That was since last year, 2024. Then I went to IOM office, the International Office on Migration, which is a UN body that assists immigrants who are having challenges of returning home. So I went to that office in Berlin and I told them that, well, Germans have started their political gaslighting again, the Jugendamt, that I want to return to my country, Nigeria, and with my 2 sons as a single mother who have been taken by Germans. And the question should be, why did Germans come this time again in Berlin to take these children? Suddenly, they appeared at my place and said it was a 1-room apartment given by Social. In fact, we just got to that new accommodation. We had a change of accommodation. We just got to that new accommodation exactly 7 days, 1 week. So we're even still new in the environment when I had a knock on my door. Who are these people? 2 German women. Then they came in and said, we heard something crazy happened in this room. I said, what do you mean? We heard something crazy happened. And I said, how can you hear something crazy happen? Because I live alone with just a 2-year-old boy, Toda, and a 1-year-old boy. The 1-year-old, 1-year-old will just still be speaking a couple of words. And then the 2-year-old, that one speaks just English and Yoruba, not even German. So it was not like in the past that I was living with my ex-husband that you could say the ex-husband said. Now I'm living alone with just babies. So who told you what you heard? What did you hear? Nothing happened. And when they come in, they saw my 2 boys playing around. The children were not sick. No accident. There was no single scare, no single mark on my children's body, the 2 of them. But yes, because these people have come with a pre-planned arrangement. So she said, well, your accommodation is not okay. You cannot live here with the children. I said, but it was their own, what they call their own social office, is Socialamt. That's one that gives people accommodation, that assist with accommodation. So I said, but it's your social office that gave me this 1-room accommodation. And the day I went for the accommodation, I went with my children. So the woman knows I have 2.
Okay, they will not give it to you. These guys.
So she said, yeah, but you cannot live here again. You cannot stay here. You have to follow us to where we are taking you to. That we have a better accommodation for you.
Your second marriage, are you still in contact with the man?
No, it's not a marriage, oh. I do not have any second marriage. I was married only once, legally once. The baby daddy is not
your
my
husband. Sorry, your baby daddy. Your baby daddy. Do you have contact with him?
Yes, we communicate, we talk if there is need, but we are not in a romantic relationship anymore.
Do he have access to the children where they are?
I cannot say because I didn't finish the story of why we were not having access. I was explaining that I went to IOM. Because I went to IOM office, the Jugendamt now wrote that I should not be allowed to visit the children again.
Why?
because I went to IOM and was making plans to take my children to Nigeria, children who are Nigerians, non-German children, no German father, no German mother, no German family. So Germans are saying, why am I as a mother taking proactive steps to want to take my children, my Nigerian children, back to Nigeria? So they said because of that, they should stop my visit to my babies, a 2-year-old boy and a 1-year-old boy at the time. So
Your baby daddy, is it legal? Is it legal in Germany now?
no, I at the moment I cannot say his status, but from 2018 he has been in Germany without papers, without documentation, because he came in on a tourist visa. And then all this while, I told you I was living alone with the children. Since 2021, I have been a single mother living alone with the children. So I cannot talk about his activities, what he does. We don't know. We don't live together.
Has he ever for once called that what can we do about the children? Has he ever called for once?
He went to a German lawyer. He went to use the German court system. And I told him that don't bother yourself, don't go through that means. That because these children are not Germans, I will use our own embassy to get the children.
Nigeria embassy.
Yes. It is part of their job, because I actually went there again in 2024. And when I got there, they told me, the first man that attended to me, a staff that attended to me, somebody from the East as well, he told me that it is their job, that he will write to Germans to bring those children to the embassy, to release the children. And when they bring the children to the embassy, I will take them and travel, since that was what I said I want. I no longer want to stay in Germany. But then, after a while, that man was transferred. He was no longer working at the embassy in Berlin. Some people said he was transferred to the UK or something. I don't know where he was transferred to. So the new person that now took over the case at the embassy is somebody from the northern part of Nigeria. Okay. A man too, another man. He now gave me a condition. He said, yes, we will get your children for you from Germans, but I want the baby daddy to come and give his own consent. And I told this person that I said, already I have a document prepared for me by a lawyer in Nigeria as far back as 2022. As far back as 2022, even before Germans took the children. Then, the reason was that the document is legal sole custody of my 2 new baby boys. And the reason why I did it was I was protecting those children from Germans, because I know that Germans would want to hide behind my ex-husband's name, because they are Standesamt. Standesamt is their birth registry office. When I gave birth to these children, the German birth registry office in Berlin refused to use the name I gave them.
Why?
Ask Germans.
They don't have any rights about such.
They do not.
What because is what they have to name the baby.
Do you know what Germans did? Germans put the name of the surname of my ex-husband as the surname of my new babies. Meanwhile, when I was feeling
and they have divorced before you get to before you have those new baby.
Remember that I told you that the divorce took place in 2021. So I gave back to the first one while the divorce was going on. But the second one, the divorce was already completed. But
let's don't let us fault on the government. Let's do it this way. He said when you're on the process, you have your third child, right? Let's do it that way.
Divorce process. But separation are taking place. Remember, there have been 2 years separation.
You said it is on process.
The divorce was going on, not on process. They've started.
Let's say that one. That one can be categorically to your ex. Let's say like that.
Yes, let us say that officially, even if they say the child that was born during the divorce process belongs to the ex-husband, in giving names, when we submitted form, there is no rule that says because child A bears the surname, husband's surname, child B must bear the same surname. It is parents who decide the name children will bear. For example, now, as a married person, as let's assume
I'm
I
sorry,
was
I'm
still
sorry.
married to my ex-husband.
Sometimes as we Africans, we can give birth, someone can give us pregnant and use another someone for his baby daddy
Yeah,
because of paper. You know that.
because of paper. Yes,
You know
and
that.
I did not do such. I never did.
I never say you did
Yes,
such.
I'm
But
explaining
because your divorce have not been cleared, that
for the
third
first
born,
one, for the third child. Well, after the first child, when the divorce was cleared, why did they still do it? For you to know that
I don't know.
it wasn't a mistake, but it was a deliberate attempt on Germans because of what they wanted to do.
What did they want
Yes,
to do?
which was to take the children again,
Why?
because they already had an antecedent of what they did in 2018. They had an alibi then. An ex-husband they could hide, say, oh, his ex-husband. But now in a different city,
Are you
in
saying
a different city, different situation, why did they still do it? Like the standard sammed in Berlin in 2022, when the divorce was already clear. Let me tell you what this country did. As at the time I gave birth to my fourth child in 2022, when I was already now legally and finally divorced. You know, when a divorce is done, you first have to wait 3 months after it for it to be fully sealed, which they call it absolute divorce. So instead of even when the divorce had become absolute in 2022, that I now gave back to this child, Germans lied. They put my ex-husband's surname on this child, and then when I questioned them, I questioned it when I saw the certificate. I said, why did you do this? No, they answered me and lied against my own country, Nigeria. They said Nigerian law that says that if a woman gets divorced 183 days after the divorce, she cannot marry another person.
you can why don't you take it off then?
My brother, I said I took it up. I said I questioned them. Germans are so, there are people like, accountability is a word that is strange to Germans. When Germans are doing wrong thing, they will never accept that they are wrong. They are this kind of extremely stubborn people who like to always be right, even when they are doing wrong things.
When you take it up, do you involve Nigerian embassy to the issue then?
Over name. When they have not yet taken my children, what did I do? That was why I said I used a lawyer in Nigeria to do a copy of what we call sole custody, to say that I am the legal owner of these children alone. These children belong to only me, that they do not belong to my ex-husband. So I did a legal document to say that
You're not talking about your ex-husband now. You're talking about your baby daddy
the
now.
children, yes, that's what I'm saying. Because I was not married to the baby daddy, so I used a lawyer to make a legal document for me that those two children belong solely, legally, only to me. Because that is Nigerian law and even German law. If an unmarried woman gets pregnant and give birth, she is the owner of her child or children.
Since they have tagged you that you are mentally delayed, do you have documents that back it up? In their
Yes, I
own country,
eventually went to their clinic and then they said they never saw
do
any.
you have the paper with you?
Yes, of course, and I took it to Nigerian embassy too.
Like how
And I
many
submitted it to
how
their
many
own
hold on,
court.
like how many certificates do you have with you? Like how many results do you have with you?
No, I cannot count, but at the moment, the one I tendered to them is one. Because as at that time, when they started the whole something in efforts, somebody also said, okay, come and be seeing a psychiatrist as an outpatient uh, person. That you come in, we talk, you go, you come in, we talk. So it is that paper that I have. In fact, I've even, like, I left my ex-husband's place. So I've even, a lot of my papers that I count not relevant were there. So when they started this new one in 2024, I had to beg him on phone that please let me search your apartment to look for any of these papers. So the one he could lay his hands on that is sent to me is what I've been using, which then is, oh, I did not bring it. It is in my box. I cannot start with it.
Don't worry.
So, and it is written there that there is no, the way they use their legal terms, that is not visible. There's no visible sign of mental illness. There's no visible sign.
Sorry. You are talking about some issue about when you went to Nigerian embassy, and the Nigerian embassy said you can't do it all alone, but
Yes, they said,
the father
okay, I was
consent.
coming to that.
But did the father abide to it? Come please.
Let me now go to that. When the man said bring the baby daddy. The reason why the man involved the baby daddy is that the baby daddy went to a German lawyer in Berlin saying he was fighting for the children. Then the German lawyer wrote rubbish trying to like, when they are doing conspiracy, people know this about Germans that if you get a, even if you use your own money to hire a lawyer in Germany, if the lawyer wants to work with the government, the lawyer, your own lawyer that you hire with money will work against you. Germans do that. They work together with themselves against foreigners a lot. It's a very highly biased society, a highly biased society. So it was said that it was because of his own lawyer that wrote the document. That's why the embassy man said the baby daddy should come. But then the man said the moment the baby daddy comes, he will write and then so that we can go. But the baby daddy, for till now, has refused to show up at the embassy. Why? He said he doesn't want me and the children to go to Nigeria. He wants us to remain in Germany. He doesn't have paper, he needs paper. So, and that's the way to get paper. But me, I said, I've spent 12 years of my life in Germany. I no longer want to stay. And then, if the man at the Nigerian embassy was actually doing his job, because I am a single mother with legal sole custody, I do not share custody of children. He's not supposed to use that one as an excuse not to do his job. Because I have sole custody, he's supposed to write letter and get those children for me and the children to travel.
Sorry, since when did your paper expired?
December 2024. So this is the 4th month now.
Have police stopped you to ask about your papers?
They have not, but I will be so willing if they stop me because it will fast track my return back to Nigeria.
Oh.
Yes, and
So,
we
like,
are
like,
going
like I heard that Germany, they are very terrified. If you don't have paper, if they saw you or see
about
you
all the
on
people who have been
the
living here for
road,
years
you'll be
without
deported.
paper.
But
What about
assuming I'm coming here, continue. I'm hearing you.
what about the people who have been living here for years without papers?
No, the reason why I said, because you said is it you that don't want to renew your paper, or they are the one that don't want to renew for you? One. Number two, you said you are ready to go. Are you really ready to go, or you wanted to change country? That's two questions for you.
Okay, let me start with the second one. If I want to change country, does that not mean go? It means that I want to leave Germany. So it is still go. That means I'm ready to go. If I say I want to change country, it means I'm stepping out of the soil of Germany. So I'm still going. That's go. Anywhere I decide to go, any other country I decide to go, it's my choice. I am not a German, so Germans do not have a right to control my life. They cannot control my movement. They cannot tell me that don't go to Nigeria, go to France, go to Netherlands. They cannot. I have the right to choose. If I say, okay, I'm leaving Germany, I want to move to France, it is my choice. No German can stop that. And I have the right to go with my children who are also non-Germans.
But from when we are young in government, I'm sorry to take you back. They said citizenship can be neutralized by birth, by you understand, but they give birth to them on German soil.
Yes, but Germany does not give citizenship by birth to all children. If your parents are not Germans, or if your parents have not naturalized as Germans, or if your parents do not have permanent residency already as at the time the child is born, the child will not get German citizenship. Children in Germany get the kind of paper, the kind of residence permit that the parents have. And because I just have the normal visitors residence permit like a foreigner, so that is what my children got as well. My children do not have German citizenship, and they do not get any benefit of a citizen. They do not get it. So Germans can never claim them. Has nothing to do with it.
Are you are you are you do you
The
believe?
question you asked, it was two. I started with the second one. Then the
Oh, no, no,
first
no.
one was, what was, can you remind me? Our
Oh,
last set of questions. I shall know it has something to do with, do I want
I will
to
remember.
go, and the expiration of the residence permit. I'm ready to, okay, you asked, I remember now, you asked that, are they the ones who don't want to renew the residence
Speak for
permit for
you.
me,
Yes.
or I'm the one that did not extend it? I am the one that did not extend it. And the reason I did not extend it is because so as to force my children out of the hands of Germans. If I no longer have a residence permit in Germany, it means I am no longer bound by the laws in Germany. And the worst case scenario of a person that does not have residence permit is to be deported. If a person does not have paper to stay in a country, the legal thing to do is to deport that person. So, and my children too, these two boys, their own residence permit too have also expired. Yes, it has expired since December 2024, which means that if Germans act by law, if their Jugendamt usually do the right thing, as at the time they took these children since April.
What is Jugendamt?
Jugendamt.
What is it called?
The youth office that takes children in Germany.
Let's say social.
Yeah, like their own social, but it's not. Yeah. The social workers that took the children, it is called Jugendamt in Germany. Jugendamt.
Okay.
So if the Jugendamt were acting by law, they were supposed to have noticed that, oh, these children who are foreigners also have their residence permit expiring in December. And by then, as I have been indicating, telling them that I want to leave, they're supposed to give me my children to leave and make us leave, but not holding children whose residence permit too have now expired in their custody. So now, what is Germany trying to do? That is simply what we call state kidnapping. So the reason why I did not extend my residence permit was I also wanted to force my children out of the hands of Germans.
Do you believe your children will be returned back to you this year?
My brother, whatever happens, I will leave Germany. So when I leave, then the government that owns the children, I will go to the government that owns the children.
I don't get you.
My children are not Germans. They do not have no German.
You're telling me that your children will be returned back to you, right?
No, I did not say so. The normal thing, there is a court date now on the issue, which is supposed to be the final judgment on the matter, slated for May, if Germans don't change it again, because they like changing dates. If they fix dates, they will change it. If they fix dates, they will change it. So if Germans do not change the dates that they are fixed, there is a date coming up on the 5th of May. The appointment at the family court on the issue. So we will go for that appointment. At that appointment, the normal thing, the legal thing that is supposed to be done is to return the children, for me and the children to travel, to leave. Because I have because I have said I no longer want to stay in Germany, and I have been standing on that point. So that is the normal thing they are supposed to do. But because Germans like to control people, they like to control private lives of people. If they want somebody to stay in their country, they want the person to stay. And one of the ways they make people stay is to kidnap children. When they kidnap your children, then you cannot go. You will be saying you are fighting, you are on the process. They will be dragging it with you, making you waste years of your life doing that. But I'm not going to do that with them. I have determined that no matter the judgments they give on that 5th of May, I will still travel out of Germany. And when I travel, then it will now become a case that I will take to the government of my own country that owns the children.
That means if the upcoming judge do not favor you, that means you are leaving.
Yes, I will leave.
You leave the children behind, right?
For a while, to go and go back to my country and now get the.
But since you have not renewed your residence, how do you want to come back again for the children?
My brother, just there are several ways to what's that proverb? To catch a fish or something. The most important thing is that I'm going to get those children from Germans because the children are not Germans. So that's the end goal.
The way you are altering statement, it's like you are sure that you are taking them back.
I am 100% sure I am going to get those children from Germans because the children are not Germans. That's why I'm sure. Children don't have German citizenship. So with Germans hold, it's like kidnapping. It's kidnapping.
What is the excuses that they took the children from you? What is the excuses?
I told told you that the woman said that we were staying in one room apartment. So she took us to another state of that had a worse accommodation of a shared toilet, shared bedroom, shared kitchen, and the same one room that was even worse, smaller in size, worse condition, and then they have to even be sharing toilet, bedroom, kitchen with others who are there. I now said, no, I cannot take this accommodation. So because I rejected the poor accommodation they gave me, the woman now told me that if you don't stay where we asked you to stay, we will take your children. That was how they took this, my last two sons. Because of accommodation excuse. My brother, in fact, in all entirety, it is wrong. Because I have the right to say no. It is not by force that you must tell me to stay in one place. If I say I don't want to stay in this accommodation, then leave me alone to go and find my own alternative. Not you kidnapping my children because of that.
Sorry, I want to. You have been saying kidnap, 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 kidnap,
Yes.
but you know kidnap means on
But let me,
someone
the
consent.
definition of kidnapping is when you take something forcefully or manipulatively. And this, in this case, we are talking about children, human beings. So the Jugendamt, the youth office in Germany, took two Nigerian toddlers manipulatively. Manipulatively. And since then, they refuse to allow common sense to reign. They refuse to see things the way they are supposed to see it. For example, like when I went to the IOM, that I want to leave Germany with my children, they blocked my access to my children by saying that why do I want to take the children out of Germany? Which is wrong. These children are not Germans. Children that are not Germans, what power do you have over them to
Sorry,
stop them
sorry,
from traveling?
are they calling them Germans?
How can they call non-Germans Germans? Who does that? They cannot call them Germans. They know they are not Germans. They do not have the legal right to hold the children. That's what I'm saying.
But they are born
That is
there.
why you say, why am I talking with so much certainty? I'm talking with so much certainty because I know the law. I am talking according to the law.
Because the way you have been saying kidnap, kidnap, kidnap,
Yes, it is called
it's
state kidnapping. There is that term exists, that ideology exists. When a government office is used to take children wrongly, it is called state kidnapping.
state kidnapping.
State kidnapping, yes.
Ah, but hope you have not done anything that that is it is not good that to the children because you know normally those social workers don't normally come to your house or maybe visit you until maybe someone your neighbor called that something is happening to your children or maybe your children did something that make you angry and you smack them on the main road on the public domain you understand because I don't understand why did they firstly they came to took your
Children
uh
when I was married.
first two children now
Do not
another two
forget
children
that
again
the ones they took when I was
why
married,
only
they
you
lied.
why only you
Exactly. Do not forget that when they took the first two children when I was married, they lied that this woman had mental illness, which was a lie. I've never for a day in my life lost sanity, and I've never even been clinically depressed. You know, there's some people who even say even if they don't have mental illness, like they are not insane, but some people may say they became depressed. I have never experienced clinical depression. For me to starve myself and not eat, God forbid, no. There is no single day I've gone all through the day without eating. So if I've never even had clinical depression, in fact normal depression sef, the one that is not clinical, I've never been depressed. Normally I'm a very jovial person. If things happen, oh, I think about it and then I quickly let it go. You understand? Just normal reactions to issues. If something should annoy you, you get angry. If something should make you sad, you get sad for that moment, but not a kind of sadness that you are going to be brooding for long over it. No.
sorry what percent can you give to Nigerian embassy because Nigerian embassy that I know sometimes they will not do their own job
if the baby daddy had listened to me and had not gone to a German lawyer, Nigerian embassy would have done their job on this one, because
What percentage are you giving to them? Over 100.
I cannot give any percentage, but I'm saying that if the baby daddy had listened to me, I told him that without him, Germans will not be able to keep these children, because they always need an alibi to work with. Germans need an alibi, and the alibi usually are men. These men that will say, oh, it's the man that is saying something. It is the man that is saying something. They will not take children from mothers and fathers.
What has happened in your ex-husband that's happening now?
But this one, he is not directly involved in the before the children were taken, because he wasn't living with me and he was not the one that called them. No, it is after they have taken the children that he got himself involved, that he went to a German lawyer to say he wants to fight for the children. And I told him, don't do it. I know how to get my children from them without using their German lawyer.
Are they giving consent that he's the owner of the two children? Have they accepted now?
Oh, eventually we were able to change birth certificates to surname. But before we could do that, we had to do court-ordered DNA test. The ex-husband was made to do DNA test, and the DNA test came back to say he is not the father. So it was until we got that result, and this process takes time, especially in Germany, where they even like to drag things. It took years. What I'm telling you, took years. So it was even late last year that the two surnames for the two babies in Berlin, my last two children, were changed. It was just late last year that we were able to remove my ex-husband
name,
and then the children are now using my own surname. And the reason is that for that again is because I'm not married to the baby. Because I'm not married to the baby daddy, I already spelled out that to him. I said, if there is no marriage between us, the children will use my name. And it's in the legal documents that was prepared for me by a lawyer in Nigeria. It is there that if we get married, then we will have joint custody of the children, and then we could have compound surname. But if we don't get married, I retain sole custody of the children. But that does not deny him access. It does not, because even when I was living alone with the children, he usually comes to visit us like once a week, and then talking on phone almost daily. So
sorry, your baby daddy, your baby this thing,
daddy, yeah.
Has he married to another person, or you have?
Before coming to Germany, he was already a married man in Nigeria. He left his wife in Nigeria.
Already?
Yes, already in Nigeria before coming to Germany. So the wife was in Nigeria. The wife does not live in Germany.
Okay. Sorry. Do you need? Because I don't know people that can see this video after I post it on my page. Do you need any help, or you need someone to come to your aid? In what aspect or in what way?
If there is any thing I need now, is pressure on Germans to release these children for me and my children to travel out of Germany, because staying in a foreign country is not by force. It is not by force that Germans want me to remain in Germany by kidnapping my children. So when they kidnap children, I will not be able to travel. But I am not going to do that. I do not want to waste all of my productive years in Germany. I was actively working in Nigeria, doing well for myself. As you see me, a woman that completed 2 master degrees with good grades, both master programs, I have PhD grade.
Wow.
Yes, so I'm a very intelligent person, to the glory of God. I do not want to waste my years in Germany. I've made up my mind, I have to go.
I wish you all the best, because it wasn't easy when they took children from their parents. It wasn't easy to return them back, and I see that the way you have confidence in yourself, because the way you are saying it authoritatively that you will collect your children back, and
Yes.
as you have the faith and belief, God will make it happen, because it wasn't easy. But you have been sleeping with them, suddenly you don't find them beside you, and they are alive. I wish you all the best. I wish you all
Yeah.
the best. I wish you all the best. Thanks for joining our program. I do appreciate you. If you have any issue, or if you want us to bring you to this our platform, you can DM me. you can send DM to me so that I can create a flyer for you and a date for you to come and say your own experience too.
Okay, maybe we can have another interaction, another session after May 5, after the
Okay, that
court
will be
date.
part two then. That'll be part two. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So we can do that. So let's see what will happen on May 5 if they don't change the date. If Germans don't change the date. And then we can now
Okay,
fix
okay,
so that I can even tell people again the outcome of what Germans did at the court.
okay. Everybody should follow me on this page and follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel because sometimes I don't have capacity to upload everything on TikTok, but I can upload it to my YouTube to watch it and enjoy it for more. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Sue, for having me.